It. I believe we are now live.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Are we live on the Federation News Network, or are we on the Changeling Network?
FNN.
Or the Changeling Network, or some sort of double secret? Are we on Section 31's mega ultra secret mega super duper whammy network?
We're on CNN. Changeling News Network.
There you go.
That's good.
Today in the news, L became a rock. Back to you, B.
You'd be surprised who's changelings this year on the red carpet at the Oscars.
We have
suss them out.
have turned into a hawk, turned into a lamp, turned into a bouquet of flowers. It's all going on down here at the Changeling Awards.
And surprise, surprise, the red carpet itself is a changeling, our favorite changeling of all time.
This red carpet.
Mr. Tom Cruise, everybody, playing the red carpet today.
Couldn't have predicted that going, could we? That was a thing that happened. Can you imagine if you played that to us 2 minutes ago with that conversation? They hear that. What the hell are we on about? And yet it worked so flawlessly, Stuart. My God.
Indeed. Welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
Ozzy already threw in a super chat
Oh.
of $2. He says, Sir, it's Starship USS Pegasus A.
Aw, that'd have been great.
Would have been great.
Although another dot dash something, but it's fine.
Yeah. All right. Well,
That's funny.
yeah, we're here today to talk about two things. We're going to talk about the ship, the Interceptor USS Intrepid. It is an
Interceptor. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what Bill said.
Ooh.
And we're also going to talk about the Changelings evolution.
Yes. In other words, we're doing live videos of our Saturday and today's video. Because we want to hear your feedback. Discussion.
We like reading the comment section, obviously, but we also like interacting with you guys in real time. If you watch the weekend videos, now's your perfect chance to chime in.
Yeah, and clearly you guys are interested in the Intrepid with 29,000 views.
That's friggin' great, by the way.
In just 3 days, because people like ships, and the sad/fun thing is, the markers determine our views. Because if you're interested, you watch. But we're here to report it either way. The irony being. But yeah, we had a lot of fun with that one, and more has come out since. Doug Drexler released the full text breakdown thingy. Yep. And because obviously we film these things right there and then, so anything that comes out a day later we don't include because we didn't talk about it.
Yeah. And Bill kind of released the evolution of the class from TOS time.
Yeah.
Which is really cool to see. I'm really digging that ship design.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen that. Obviously, we'd seen some of the ideas of his ships from previously, but I know that's not an official thing or anything. But to see his mental logic was super interesting. I mean, that definitely counts as the Intrepid, so we can look at that at some point, depending on what you guys think, because you guys run the conversation. And you know what? I'm going to leave this conversation while you tell everyone else to join the conversation, so we can have a bigger conversation with normal people as well.
Go do it. Go share this around. Guys, there is 60 of you here with 23 likes. Hit that like button. Let's try to get those likes up to 50 right off the hop here. I think we can do so with all you guys showing your support for the channel. We really appreciate that. Just hit that like button. Also consider joining the channel. There's a join button down there where you can join with, select a rank, and you can see all the perks that are associated with that rank and get those things included when you join the channel. Get your name and lights, as it were, at the end of each video where you see the ships, our Starship fleet, or Trekyards fleet, if you will, and get your see which ship you get assigned to. It's always fun, and it definitely makes a interesting community building thing. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that, and we really enjoy interacting with you guys on the Discord server, which if you join the channel, you get to access the Discord server where you can hang out with us and talk to us, as well as your fellow Trekyardians and your crewmates as well. So it's a really fun, interactive way to help us out. So click that join button, or consider at least looking at it. I would really appreciate that. Or you can head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. There's the same tiers and everything over there, so you can join over there as well and get the same perks just through Patreon if that's what you prefer. Also, don't forget there are links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. Lots of great Trekyards merch. I'm still waiting on approval of some new designs I put in. I don't know why it's taking so long. I messaged our contact over there, and because I was a week and a half ago I submitted those. Anyway, regardless, check out the Teespring and the TeePublic store. Is really cool merchandise over there. You get shower curtains, you can get socks. You can get Trekyards socks at the Teespring store. The T Public store has some really great shirt designs. You can get phone cases. You can get masks. You can get anything your heart's desire, Trekyards wise over there, except for con badges and hats, which everybody wants. But that's something we're working on for the future. So, but yeah, just hitting that like button. Let's get the likes up to 50 right off the hop here. And yeah, we want to hear your thoughts. So super chat in with your ideas, your opinions, your comments, your questions. We will read them all and address them with you guys in real time, which is really fun. Well, a little bit of a delay, maybe, but hey, it is what it is. The Duderstad class, yes. Yeah, we're going to talk about both the ship. Well, just basically our weekend videos. We did the Changeling's evolution video as well as the USS Intrepid or the Duderstad class ships video on Saturday. So we're going to talk to you guys about those ones again today. And like I said, get your input. Really appreciate it. So please super chat in.
And let us know if you just saw the video quality of the stream increase significantly, because I forgot to increase it from a time when the internet was real bad. So I just doubled the bitrate of the live stream. So let us know if it's suddenly got much crisper, because it really should have. Yeah, I forgot to move that back over.
Well, Chuck A, or TNG Fanatic, member for 36 months at the rank of lieutenant. Wow, long time. I am glad Stuart and Samuel have not been replaced by changelings. That you're aware of. Yes. And even if we had, we'd never tell. Nobody looks suspicious here at all. Kirk Novak, though, puts in £5. The outrageous Okana is still alive. Best Star Trek character ever. Moreover, Cisco and Kirk, the true king, is back. Well, he's in Prodigy. He's in this. He's also in Lower Decks. So, I mean, hey, he's definitely been in a lot of Star Trek.
Yeah, it's weird. Why him? There's many people I'd like to see.
I don't mind.
Obviously.
I like him. I just hope he comes back and redeems himself for Prodigy.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't in Lower Decks. His face was.
He was a DJ.
Exactly. Exactly. He was, you know what I'm saying. And then in Prodigy, like you say, half his arc has been done. So that second half, it's hard to judge without judging. Which I don't want to do yet. Right, I'm going to start a poll, Stuart, about the ship, as you can imagine.
Go for it. But we are at 48 likes with 92 of you here now. So we've jumped up considerably our number of viewers. So hit that like button. Now we're at 50. That's the goal I was looking for. But now that we've hit that goal, next goal is 80, of course. So please hit that like button if you haven't and try to get those numbers up. We appreciate that. James Bruin puts in £5. Congrats on the 29K views on the Intrepid video. You guys deserve more like that. Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, but as we know, Stuart, we get views from showrunners, lead production designers, writers, actors. That's pretty good too.
Yes, and the ship ones always do better numbers than any of our other contents.
So that's why we started, which makes sense.
Ding, ding, ding. You're
Yes,
absolutely right.
as if there's a reason for the madness.
All right. Let's see. There is a new poll up, and it says, the new USS Intrepid. Your thoughts? Love it? Like it? Okay? Or meh?
Yes.
Go vote.
The classic meh.
Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Are you still Foley? You still love Justin Bieber? Justin Bieber is the best and greatest artist of all time.
Oh, goodness.
And yeah, my daughter went to school with him. Actually, my oldest daughter, Selena, was in the same class as him. But anyway.
I don't know if you're serious or not, because you have a good blank humor, sort of.
100% serious about that, yes. It's in Stratford. They were in the same class.
Did she actually know him? I guess same class, you'd have to have.
Well, it wasn't a friend of his or anything, but yeah, she did, so. But yeah, he's the best artist of all time. There's never been anybody more talented than Justin Bieber, so there you go. Obviously, I am not a changeling.
He got weird. He looks sad now.
That's okay. Fame will do that to you. Kyle Wong throws in £3 with a thumbs up there. Yes.
Now I want to ask you, Stuart, because you're obviously into the community, as am I. But I shift around. Not a hint. So what do you think that the reaction's been? Having, we did our film of this Thursday with, you'd woken up, hopefully you hadn't checked the internet, and we'd done the review within like 2 hours of seeing it for the first time. So really we had our own perspectives, which I love what we do. It lets us be truly impartial, which is great for Discovery. People hated it. We were like, oh, it's pretty all right. And I was like, we don't know. We have our own opinions. So what do you think the reaction's been to the ship? I see Doug and Dave and everyone talk about
it. I think the overall reaction's been positive. It's not as loving it as I thought a lot of people would. There's actually less than that. People they have a lot of questions about it. The biggest thing is, of course, the rear deflector, which it doesn't have, but used to that kind of thing for sure with the Foley class design. So I think the response to it has been very positive. And a lot of people knew immediately that was one of Krause's designs as well. So yeah, it's been pretty loved, I think, overall. I haven't really seen any hate about it at all, but I don't know.
Thanks, Kirk. Yeah, it's been an interesting one because each ship we sort of have a bit of extra knowledge of that varies. So Titan's obviously quite a big oh, that's the reaction, huh? So this was interesting because I know we both sort of saw it in various veins. The caveat never necessarily the final, but whatever. So, but obviously, like with the Titan, we'd seen Bill's Wasp, and you'd seen the original design potentially since it's not new, but for millions of Trek fans, this is a radically new thing. So that was interesting to me to see what people would react to something that for us is like, oh yeah, that thing. But we're literally paid Trek experts for ships. This is kind of our thing. So that, not surprised so much. But I was kind of surprised. It was almost universally positive from what I've seen. That no one really had qualms about the secondary hull being weird. Because it is weird, but the fact that it works together, I was kind of, I'm always kind of nervous for them because, most of the ships are good if not great. And I think people really liked it. It was a good response. I mean, there's not a lot to the design. You look at the saucer, there's not a lot going on really. But I think people liked it and it was nice to see. Yeah.
And I've heard that it's just slightly longer than the Titan and a few little details like that.
Yes.
So
I think Titan's 530, this is 560 meters, so it's a smidge.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if... words, things. It will be fun one day to make it, when we have replicas of these things, and be able to put a person next to the window.
Yeah.
And say, right. Yep. It's a big window.
It's just such a cool design. I'm in love with it.
I know you are. Occasionally doing a fan film on the ship, and you actually have a scene them up against a window, and the window is obviously 2 floors, but and so it's yeah, well, they really make I can see everything from here.
And James Aaron says, "What is the Intrepid's class name? Anyone? It's called the Juderstad."
Yes.
Juderstad. Yeah. So there you go. Kyle Wong. Kyle Wong throws in £5 again. Thank you. Thought. Can they run a DNA scan or test on ship personnel? Dr. Crusher said the Changeling can't mimic your DNA. She didn't say that exactly. She just said the blood that was in the body didn't have any DNA signatures. Which I found odd, because I'd be very quickly away if you get a blood sample to see that it's not actually a person. But could be that it was because it was dead. That was the case. It's still the blood just didn't have any of the refinement of the details. So it's kind of hard to say.
It is a very, very tricky one, actually, because we've said this for many a time, and we had for 4 years DS9, and if this is brought up, they didn't write into the show in any meaningful way for us to sort of question it. But computer, locate Ensign Turin. Well, the DNA would need to be on I mean, really, it's a comm badge, but how would you know the internal workings of the comm badge to mimic its signature? Whatever. Besides the fact that you can make a comm badge, if it knows where you are, then the Changeling can mimic whatever the sensors are looking for. Otherwise, they would instantly know the person's not aboard. And all you have to do is computer, what member of the crew that should be aboard is not aboard? Oh, well, this person I saw 2 minutes ago, they must be changing. It can't be that easy, otherwise it would be that easy.
Yeah, see, that whole locate so-and-so on board, that is specifically linked to the comm badge because they would each have their own assigned one.
Yeah, but
And then if the computer sees that it's I know, but if the computer sees that comm badge is on a human, it doesn't have to scan the DNA necessarily. It would be much more thorough if it did, but just to say that that comm badge attached to a person is in this area, and even most of the time where they ask locate them, the person is taking the comm badge off. It says the person is in their quarters. You go to their quarters, the comm badge is sitting on the couch, right? So.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. I wish they would incorporate. And in the future, you'd think DNA would make perfect sense. You want to find somebody on the ship, the computer has every DNA signature.
Yeah,
just locate them.
Because
scanning.
Because you can detect exactly how many human life signs are aboard, right? So you would still know if there's meant to be 84 people in the manifest. You've got 83 human life signs. But then if they can mimic life signs, that's the point. What are you mimicking or not? And is DNA needed for a human life sign? Maybe not. Because if it is a detailed scan, but then again, all you have to do is tell everyone to go into sickbay, scan them, boom, they can't do it. Now, obviously, they could become mist or go into a vent and now they're a renegade, fine. But it's, yeah, there must be a certain amount they can do. Was there a thing in one of the episodes where they would suck someone's blood out and use it inside them temporarily to hide from blood scan?
Yeah, they took a little sample of blood and they had like a little pocket of themselves essentially.
Yeah.
So when they did the blood withdrawal, it was actually real blood.
I think that was part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Dan says, yeah, I mean, look as a rock is a rock. Yeah, it is true. They have to. They have to be able to.
And Cosmo says if they scan for DNA, the person you'd search would be in 10 different places. You lose DNA everywhere. Yeah, but the computer would be able to differentiate piss in a urinal from your hair in the hairbrush to a body walking down a corridor. It would know like the amount of DNA that's present.
Well, it would connect a DNA with a life sign.
Yes.
Otherwise, there'd be 4.7 million DNA traces in your quarters. Wink.
Dust. Yeah.
I was meaning something else, but yeah.
Oh, you were blacklighting it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's awful.
Well, but if you're going by DNA, of course, that's radical. Because there's a reason why you need a tricorder. If the scanners can do it anyway, then. But
what if you leave your DNA inside somebody else and they leave your quarters? With the computer. Oh,
well,
shit.
that's
Went too far. I'm sorry.
It's a different sort of pull-out method. So now, if I'm right, Prodigy. We talked about this at the time, I believe, that they beamed Janeway, taken over by Dahl, who didn't have a comm badge because that was taken by. Because they said, "I'm looking at Janeway. She's in this corridor. Beam her up," and they beamed Janeway without a comm badge, site to site to the bridge. And we said, "How do they do?" They didn't say where she was. Just build an entire corridor. So obviously they could beam human in place without comm badge, and if you can lock on somebody with a very detailed scan of a transporter, you'd think you could scan them in some way. Yeah. Limitations are really important in sci-fi. Almost more important than what they can do.
Yeah.
Is holodeck food real? Well, that's a question you need to know before you can start doing stories, because otherwise you could starve to death while in a buffet banquet in the holodeck.
Well, the funny thing is, too, like, you see that meme of Riker sitting on the console talking to a chick, and it's like, fires 4 photon torpedoes with his butt. That's the joke. We always made the assumption that, the consoles they're capacitive touch. They're able to detect that it's deliberately being pushed the button, and it's like contact with somebody that's qualified and, allowed to use that console. So the butt dialing doesn't make sense. And then Prodigy comes along, and Murph decides to jump up and sit down on a console, and it fires photon torpedoes. And I'm like, oh, there goes that out the window.
But we know Murph's energy, and Murph's not an average life form, but is a precious little life form.
I was going to say, I was going to do this song. But, so I don't know what's going on with the blood necessarily. She made a point of saying there's no DNA signatures in it.
Irish is a great side note. If changelings don't have DNA, then they can't scan for life forms without DNA. How would you do that? A non-DNA life sign. But then you're kind of going with the idea of a lack of something. If you're mimicking somebody, then that's the crew manifest. So where is the not life sign that doesn't fit with the crew?
That's the thing. They produce body heat. They do things to track. Like if they do have a working comm badge, which you'd assume they would, because
they have to. They've shown it.
Exactly. So then you can track the comm badges that are linked to no biosignatures.
Yeah, how are they making a bio sign if they're really doing a comm badge? Doesn't really.
You could really drill down on this, and it loses all cohesion as soon as you start looking at it.
It reverts to just gelatinous bullshit.
I didn't even think about that till I said it, but yes.
That's good.
That's good. It actually doesn't make a lot of sense when you really focus on it, but that's like a lot of things in sci-fi. Star Trek covers its bases for a lot of things, but there's a lot of unanswered questions because don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. With this, you kind of just got to accept it and move on with the story.
Also, they are brand new changelings, so this entire world we're right now living in is already new, and they're welcome to tell us. We like these sorts of factoids setting the stage, but it's odd to think that this was obviously a thing in DS9. Yet why are we rethinking about it now? Obviously, changelings could exist and get through any sensors, because they did. You had to literally phaser every bulkhead. So clearly you couldn't scan them in any form. Clearly. Not even in gel form, otherwise you could just scan and wait for them to return to gelatinous form in a bucket or a blanket or whatever. So clearly they're immune to all scans, and yet read as the thing they're trying to scan for. Because that's the thing, they've got to do both. Either they've got to scan as the item they're replicating, in which case, computer, locate Ensign Terrell, oh, she's in deck 3. Well, that's the Changeling. Great, we know where she is. Or they have no life forms, and then if you're doing a random scan, like Bashir, when he was a Changeling, you'd find he's not Bashir. You've got to do both things for it to work.
Yeah. You have to be super focused for things to work. Yeah. It falls down upon post-examination, unfortunately. But...
Or can they do it all? I mean, is that just a matter of fact they are just that able to do? Can they mimic bioscience for some amount of time and not for the rest of it? Are they able to we don't think about breathing. We do it all the time. Maybe the ones that are out train themselves to do it without thinking. They just make a biosign. But then to know a creature's biosign on sight...
Yeah, see...
And mimic it to be ship scan perfect. To also get through transporters, because definitely Bashir beamed at least once as when he was a Changeling. And certainly Martok. I mean, he wasn't saying, General, Chancellor, I will only shuttle between place to place. What? Why?
It's honorable.
If you beam or dishonorable, you question my honor? Yes, I just said. Oh. Only an honorable warrior would tell me to my face. You're ugly. Yes.
See?
The whole thing.
Merlot says scan for foreign DNA. Again,
They don't have DNA. Yeah.
There would be passive scans for that all the time. That's one of the things I think that activates intruder alert.
Oh god, must do, yeah.
Yeah, so it would have to be masked or altered somehow to
Yes, yeah. Great. Thanks, Hot Montgomery. Everyone's chat's now breathing manually. Yeah, I know, right?
When you think about it, yeah. 140 of you here, by the way, all the people in the chat, and 84 likes. That's awesome. Let's try to get up to 120 likes. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and click the join button. See if you want to join the fleet. We have a lot of fun things here for you guys to take part in as channel members.
Yeah, we love it, and we want more ships in that fleet. It's a very long video now. Let's make it longer. Longer means more support. We need that support, and we thank you for it.
Imagine if you had so many members that the closeout video of the ship's fleets is like longer than the actual video itself. That'd be cool. Scary, but cool.
We could do some fun stuff with that sort of funding. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Dear me.
Anyway. So...
Is there more on that? I mean, I'm sure we delve back to it as more people have more ideas.
Yes, please put your ideas in too, guys. Super chat in with your thoughts about the changelings and its evolution. That's the other thing. She says they're evolved. It's evolution. Now, is that just the breakaway changelings? Are the ones that are in that Great Link still very happy with the way things are because there's so many of them? So they're just the same? And is it just these ones that had to find a way to get around not being able to link up with the Great Link that had to evolve? They were forced to evolve to do this.
And as someone said in one of our comments, the producers don't know what evolve means. But it's a phrase rather than she's not, even though she's a scientist, she's being a not non-literal. It's clearly genetically modified. It's not actually.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I don't need to be spelled out to me. That was a. You know, I don't need to be. No, just and I really hope, and I kind of think we might structurally at some point see a real changeling, an original changeling pop in.
I hope so.
To kind of, because the fact is, the most useful force to counteract changeling is a changeling. So I could see there being a twist in the last episode when, someone called from DS9 to the wormhole, they got a changeling over, they look like someone we know, and then for one scene they look like, because an actor that or even a new actor who has a face, and then for one scene they're in full makeup as a changeling, very, very classic, exactly as you expect, just to kind of pay off the difference, because contrast is what allows things to work better often. By seeing these gross body horror new ones, and then seeing a fake updated old one, you make both feel more justified, and make this look even more gruesome. Because a lot of people are going to think it's just the update, but we now know it's not, and we said since the first time we saw it. And then almost you have a change of a changeling battle, which would be a hell of a thing. I mean, they'd probably win because they're T1000s of alike.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. And when we did our video too, we talked about, is this a compromise? Like, this is evolution, but at what cost?
Yes.
Because Odo could turn into mist. He could lash out with like a long tendril as a weapon. These things haven't done that yet. We don't know what they can do, what they're capable of. But with the way their liquid form looks, it looks like they can only do biological based on that meat-like appearance. So if this is evolution or this is advancement or hybridism, is it at a cost? Like, are they losing some of the actual shape-shifting abilities that they had previously? It seems that way, but again, we don't know enough about them, and I don't know if we'll necessarily get the answers to those questions. But yeah, it seems like a bit of a cost there.
And that's great. I love that. I love the idea that the rationale for this race was to hit hard and do the effect that they wanted. All it takes is one change to say, we've lasted for 9,000 years, we've conquered the big portion of our quadrant, these guys come to try and stop us. Well, no, that's not true. They come to not want to be part of us. We fought them, they somehow won. While we were stuck in the Gamma Quadrant, they somehow won in the Alpha Quadrant. We'll bide our time and then just kill them all. Let's skip the middlemen. Let's skip the part where we try and convert them, whatever. And so they genetically modify themselves to be far more effective shapeshifters, because you can't exactly, the second time you watch a film, it's less effective. They've now got anti-changing countermeasures, so they had to make themselves impervious to those. And, they're not who they are anymore. And that's good, it's interesting.
Yeah, and Murlocs, yeah, you're right. You haven't seen them shift into objects, only humanoids, yeah. Again, like I said, that liquid form, being the golden color that Odo was, made sense they could turn into anything. This new one kind of implies that it's only something biological that they can turn into.
Yep. Which is great. That fits really well. They can't demolecularize the biological organ meat, in essence. They can only reconstitute it. Energy can't be destroyed or whatever. Whereas if they're just goo, they aren't really anything. But this form, they are actually organic. They're just... And that's a really nice limitation. Now, that said, we've also not seen their true forms yet. There's been no... Maybe they can't even... That's a hell of a leap. Maybe they can't even be their original form anymore. Maybe that's too... because there aren't organs inside Changeling. They are goo. When they are being themselves, they are just goo with the face. Maybe they somehow can't... And that'd be really sad. Maybe they can't be their original form because it's just too inorganic for them now. Even faking it, they can't. If you're trying to mimic a bad artist, as in a bad interpretation of a face, it's hard to replicate bad sometimes. It's harder than good. So maybe they can't replicate a failed face when now they're so biological, they default to a proper face. And so that would be kind of a nice subplot if we got a changeling who hasn't been themselves in 2 years. And all they can be is somebody they've met, and they just become them. And that, I mean, that's honestly quite a dark thing. Losing who they are to be this force, this knife's edge. That's a deep thing, I think, actually.
Well, that goes back to what you said, though. Like, is it at a cost?
Yeah.
What did they have to... And if... The other thing is hybridation. Like, if they've been working with species 8472 and or the bluegills to get this new form... Again, sure, it is an evolution. It's the next stage almost of their, whatever. But, yeah, it seems like it might be limiting somehow. So,
no, it's great, and I definitely think the body horror links so well with 8472. It really, really does. And if you're going to go supervillain mashup. I mean, these are the two big, giant, organic-themed villains of the two shows. By an absolute mile. There isn't anything else that competes. And I just love the idea that there's a sequence where the changelings go in fluidic space and they meet an 8472 bioship and say, so guys... Because I would think they could become an 8472 as well. I would think they could mimic one of those without too much hassle.
That's the thing. If this trade-off happened, then they can only do something biological, but like humanoid. Can they turn into a bird? Can they turn into a smaller animal? Like the whole, does it have to be the same size thing? Like that's always been an issue with mass shifting, like with transformers and with morphers. Like,
yep,
certain same kind of volume. Like, is that all you can replicate? So
yeah, well, exactly. They've now got real mass to deal with. They can only go so small. Again, limitation. That's great. Odo could literally be a grain of sand. Yeah, basically could be. And that's why they were magic, right? That's why they're insanely advanced. To go from a human to a bird to mist. What the hell's happening to your body? Well, because it's not his body, he's goo. Like, he's not a body. He is goo that is formed into a body. Odo is not him. Odo is goo. It's such a mind effort. That's why it's great. It's really sci-fi. It brings it down in a way. Whereas like Star Trek 6's metamorph is very much just shifting into body forms. You understand the limit of it. It's very carefully small. So I love the idea that we'll get a scene. I don't think we will, but it'll be logical. They go into 8472 space. We see an 8472, which allows them to reuse an asset, as in they have to build one they're talking to, so they build one. And they communicate in their language because I'm obviously mimicking English, so that's fine. And they say that we want to kick butt. Do you want to kick butt too? And I would imagine that 8472 would not be inclined to do too much meanness. But as they're leaving, one ship comes up and says, "We'll be rogue. We'll come with you." And there you go. You got two superpower rogues going against Starfleet. Now, if that's the case, though, if that's a specific analogy, they're not using enough tech to justify that. If all they've changed is their bio thing, or is the super weapon coming? Because 8472 is a hell of a curveball of strength to throw in. They wouldn't just be delivering bioengineering.
They can destroy planets, essentially. So could be argued that the portal tech might have been their technology that Starfleet got a hold of and reworked it to be their own. And so the GC472 is kind of pissed about that. I could see them having portals like that, even if it is just to get from fluidic space to our space. I don't know. Big bad weapon of species 8472 is just the linked ships that can destroy planets, which is in and of itself is terrifying. So
yep. yes, it is. It's very interesting.
Bradley. Oh wait a minute.
Hi, Bradley.
Before we do that one, though.
And yes, Revan, that's what I was saying, devolution, really.
Kyle Wong throws in £5. Would you think they will deep fake the actor for Odo to appear in the show? It's a fine line. I don't think they will. I would like to see another changeling of some sort, though. I'd like to see an actual changeling from the Great Link.
Yeah.
I'd like to actually see the Great Link at some point and see that it's unchanged and that it's just these split away ones that are like this.
Yeah, an ambassador. I mean, you obviously have an ambassador to the Great Link.
Yeah.
You do that.
It would be cool to be at Odo. I don't know if they're going to do that, though. and use Renee's likeness. I don't know if that's something that they would.
I would strongly put money they wouldn't. I think their equivalent to that was the picture. I don't think they would do that.
Yeah.
And the fact is, it's such a low budget season apparently that their de-aging was okay. A deep fake of Renee with dialogue is significantly harder to do.
Yeah.
It's not even close in terms of hardness to do.
And Bradley Thomas throws in $5.
Hey.
Maybe the changelings have a version of the Pym particle.
Maybe they are where Hank got them from. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
He invented time travel first, and then the Pym particle.
And Robert says Marvel and Trek do exist in the same multiverse, so yeah.
In the same
there multiverse? Are crossover comics, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's stories, yeah. Anyway, bring back the female changeling. Oh, yes. She's still alive, yeah.
She is, yeah. Just about.
I'd be alright.
I don't think she want to put makeup on, though. Although it would hide her age, but then harder to do.
Oh, she could just come back as looking like she looks. She just perfected the face thing.
Oh,
she only did that to only did that to Makoto anyway.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. But no, it's well, as people have always said, not in this chat, but I'm adding to it. The assumption is that who she talked to as a changeling is the assumption, but at the moment, all we've seen, if you disclude the floating head monster from being a changeling, just take that out. Changelings are foot soldiers currently. Even Vadik, who is now taking orders from someone higher, to the point of scaredness and throwaway advanced technology, foot soldier, with literal foot soldiers, and I dare say all of these T-1000s have about as much charisma. They're plain vessels. They're not, every changeling we saw had a personality. That was quite intentional. Even if it was just, I hate humans, it's a person. These are all blank slates, right? So, as we said earlier, much earlier live, the idea of maybe they cloned new changeling DNA, or not DNA, just a being. That's why they're more just husks of entities. And then whoever's actually in charge is not changing at all. Because, like I said, they're all foot soldiers. It does not seem to be, if you told me it's not their plan, I would buy that. Because it seems disjointed from that. What do you think about that? What do you guys think about that as an idea? Not a changeling.
Well, Classic for Real is a good suggestion there. He's calling it the Vadik is the female changeling. I disagree with that. Her crew seems very cookie cutter, cut and paste, like you said, foot soldier kind of thing. The masks are interesting. I hope we get some kind of explanation for that. I'm not convinced that they're changelings because they click. They make that clicking sound as for communication.
Yeah.
Changelings don't do that. That's not a sound I would ever associate with a changeling. So there's something different. I'm even convinced that Vadik is not literally a changeling, even though Terry has said she is. I think that might be a little bit of a red herring on Terry's part.
Or there's a lie. If you flat out say it's something that's not, it's a lie. I mean, that's
part changeling.
Wow.
And that's why he said she's not a changeling. I can see him doing that, but
only her pinky is. That counts. So, well, yeah.
So, I don't know. Vadik and crew are interesting. I don't even know how much of they do come back because we do see other scenes of them in the trailers. So,
but now with only 4 left, right? That's it. 4 left, and we know the last 2 are kind of a big movie. We know the next one is going to be museum-y because we have.
There's 5 left. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Psh.
As I said, there's only 5 left, and we know that. How much is she going to be in it more? I mean, honestly, she feels so minor. I mean, good, but also, you'd said this many a year. Trek is not about these villains, so to have her be good for posters, good for performance, but in relatively minor of it, is that maybe a blessing that we're not going for? There's no revenge plot. There's no negative. Well, is the conspiracy aspect just far better than a single villain approach?
Yes, it is. Honestly, but the thing is, we still have to find out who she was communicating with, who she is, who her crew is, and there's a lot to wrap up in 5 episodes. how to get rid of all of the changelings in Starfleet. Now, Deanna, when she comes aboard, obviously her telepathy is going to be a key in deciding or seeing who's a changeling. I have a feeling that's going to play a major role. So 5 episodes is not a lot to do all of this stuff. So, but I have faith so far in Terry and the writers because they've been doing an awesome job up to this point. Like they're throwing out a mystery box and answering it.
Well, I was going to say, it feels like there's a lot left, but we've learned a lot in 5 episodes.
Yes.
They throw stuff at us at a quick pace and then slow it down. But so there isn't a sense of, oh, they're not going to get to it. There's just a case of, well, we might have heard there's a big exposition episode.
Yes.
Which would
that'll be detailing the plan, how Vadek met this other person, who this other person is. That's what that's going to be. That's the exposition episode.
Yeah.
Which I think we heard was episode 7. Which would make sense because in the last 2, like the last ones are the big boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And exposition can be fun. A lot of exposition is flashbacks, and if they do some really excellent flashbacks,
yeah,
I'm on board for that. So, yeah. Maybe some episodes are longer. Well, some are longer. Like they've all been over 50 minutes, which is great. I think one was an hour and 2 minutes, wasn't it?
No. They're all. I think the longest was 56. The shortest was like 42. What one was? I think. Well, yeah, one was overly short, but the rest have been solidly. No, one was 48, and the rest were in the 53 56 range.
The last episode of Mandalorian was 55 minutes.
Good, they should be, because you got to remember, obviously, titles, credits, logos.
Last time on, yeah.
I mean, you're looking at 3 to 5 minutes taken up by nothing. Just saying.
Yeah, so there's a lot to answer for in the next 5 episodes, and I hope it's done very well and it's all put to bed. Like, I don't want there to be like a overhanging question at the end of this season. They have said that they're at a good place at the end of the season to carry on with things, but I don't think there's going to be a cliffhanger. You know, I think they're going to have it all wrapped up and explained by the end.
Sure, there's not going to be a cliffhanger, but there's going to be. I mean, even the Dominion War, it's wrapped up, but you understand the changelings founders might come back. It's just so even if you win, maybe there's a scene where you hand one of these you hand Vadek off to a female changeling-esque creature, and you're like, well, we don't kill our own, but I thought she's renegade and evil now. We will change her back. And I go, ooh, that could be like that. That's not a cliffhanger, but it's a thread. And clearly we're going to have the kids. There'll be the kids threads. They've all been introduced. Why have we introduced 2 children of LaForge without some sort of familial reason to have some thematic story? I'm assuming that maybe, well, hostages tend to help while you have kids, because honestly, but or just for the sake of it. I mean, or just that. But, you know.
Well, we have which is amazing, guys. So please hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and don't forget to hit that like button. Let's try to get up to 150 likes. So hit that like button and super chat in. I want to hear your thoughts on the changelings and the new Intrepid, the USS Intrepid, which we'll be talking about in a minute here.
USS. So. But Leon says, I think the creatures on Vadek's crew are prototypes of the infiltrators, and the infiltrators are using the same language because they're not full founders, but sort of combat type. Yes. Ooh. We certainly alluded to that earlier.
That's great. Yeah.
Very Terminator-esque. No,
yeah, and the ones on the ship they're wearing masks because they can't form any kind of cohesive.
They've gone screwed up themselves.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. You don't want to see like a gross, neat blob, so you put a mask on it.
Well, I said that 2 episodes ago of potentially they're keeping them together.
Yeah.
Which is also why they don't have any personality, because they're just blobs of. I mean, how do you operate a ship without hands? So I get it.
Use nubs. You use nubs. You use whatever you have available. Yeah.
But I asked Apollo, guys, and I'll throw in
the poll.
I'll throw in a changing one as well. I asked the Intrepid, the new one. What do you guys think? Some stonkingly good results for new Trek. 46% actually love it. 32% like it. which makes a 78%. I believe my math is correct.
What?
70. Anyway, okay, 15% and meh 7%. So a stonking victory for the Intrepid. Good job, them.
Yes, it was awesome.
I'm gonna do a new poll.
All right, and I'm just reminding everybody again to hit that like button and please super chat in, give us your thoughts, your comments, your questions. We do want to address them all. We want like hanging out with you guys. We have a great community, and we want you guys to speak up and get to know each other and be a part of it. So please let us know what you're thinking. Phil in Brazil, which is a fantastic name. Hope we get some DS9 legacy characters popping up. Well, I mean, we've been promised some cameo pop-ups. We'll see how that goes. I would like to see some DS9 for sure. Yes, I agree. A Cisco voiceover would be a happy ending too if he drops in to save the day. Yeah, even just doing a voiceover would be awesome. I would love to have Cisco come back in some form for sure. A lot of people would, but I don't know how viable that is, unfortunately.
And it's weird to think that we've had Kirk did video games, Shatner did video games, sorry, Patrick did games, and then this show, Janeway's on Prodigy. Cisco, when he left the show, and he did Legacy, it's been 18 years since he's been in anything. I mean, obviously he doesn't owe the fandom anything, but, you know, he left, never to come back. And I saw some interesting comments of him. He obviously did a few conventions, but not for like 2 decades, and he's bored. Fortunately, he just doesn't care for conventions. He hasn't done any either. He does panels where, as in he did in the early 2000s, where he just didn't care. He'd give small questions. He'd be a bit snippy. He would be on his phone. He wouldn't interact. So he's not, you know, he's an old man. He's not Cisco. I mean, people might bitch on Shatner, but I think Avery's possibly worse. But that might be because of mental illness or just lack of social skills. Nothing against him, obviously, personally, just, you know.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because of all the captains and characters that could and should and would come back, it would be Cisco in some form, right?
And then Bakula, he got shafted, because he's actually meant to be very nice, just very gentle and sort of a plain nice guy in a nice way, you know.
Yeah.
It's sad to not get him back.
Kirk Novak, though, throws in £2.
Thanks,
thank you. Could the crew be the new version of the Jem'Hadar? Yes.
Yep. We said that.
Yes. Yep.
No, I said
makes perfect sense.
Previous live, newly genetically modified with a different foil, rather than just being drug addicted. Because changelings, you know, they're honestly too important to the grunt work. I mean, from you expect from that perspective, if they can change into most things, why on earth are they? You know, why on earth are they doing all the basic stuff as well as fighting, etc.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Subspace Chatter, I agree. Cisco's big right now in the IDW comics, so it's unlikely that he'll be in Picard. And that's the perfect way. The only way we can bring Cisco back is in like book or comic form, unfortunately. So,
although, would it be so? Just like they did with Prodigy, if they brought Cisco back by sampling lines from the show and making that into an appearance, would that be any? Yeah, no offense, but I think so. Just like they did with No offense, but I think you're 1,000% wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They are not going to even mention that stuff because they are not inclined. They have their own story. They're going to tell in their own way, and they don't want the baggage of that stuff. They've already addressed it as much as they're going to, which is nah.
Mm-hmm.
No. And do you want to see more? You know, of the giant tentacle things.
I'm intrigued enough that I would like to see more, but I could literally handle that in comic book form. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Why waste on-screen time with that?
Well, yeah. Also, just set them up and continue them. You would think would take a lot by itself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But also Polo Stuart.
A lot of people are losing signal and audio and having buffering issues, and so am I. It says
I can't really
the video to maintain.
Can't really affect that if the internet doesn't like me. Which is funny, because you and me, we've been totally fine.
Yeah. I thought it was just my connection, as usual. But Skype's been fine. And we're nothing we can do about it, guys. Looks like a YouTube problem. Yeah. Which they've been having lots of lately, actually. The live chat, like a few days ago, wasn't working properly. Anyway, going back to the poll you said.
Yes.
New changelings, are they genetically modified so they can't become simple things anymore? Well, we have 72 votes. Go vote, guys, if you haven't already. But the winner so far is, limited to people, 63%.
Yeah.
Seems to make sense, yeah.
Maybe they watch T2 as well. Their inspiration. Yes, press refresh. If YouTube had a little glitch. Press a Rooney.
Yeah, YouTube had a little bit of a hissy fit. We apologize. Subspace chatter. Denise Crosby is still to come back this season.
I would put $5 that she'll be there somewhere. I mean,
maybe just as a holographic recreation of Tasha, or like an interactive one or something. Don't know.
Because there's just the idea of a TNG reunion. You need Data, and if you want to go full love letter, you need Tasha. Now, if you're happy to go actor reunion, then you need to have Brent, and then you play Law, and Denise plays Seela. Then you've got all the actors, and obviously you can say that Will was in last season, so that kind of counts. That was pretty close, and obviously Guinan and Q. So you can get away with saying, well, we did have them last year. Yeah. That we can get away with that.
Yeah. Yeah, Burns. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Maybe holograms at Geordi's museum. Maybe there's the interactive, fully functional exhibit where you have Data as
wait.
Brent Spiner as Data and Tasha, and you get to control the different, multiple techniques.
Are we naked now, Tasha? No, we're naked time. What?
It's funny. John Sansone throws in $10 with no comment. Thank you so much, John. Much appreciated.
Thank you. I definitely think that. Yeah, I think you might be right. There could be a personal log of Geordi watching Data, or imagine a scene where Law's doing something dodgy. He says something that jogs Geordi's memory, who then goes to one of his monitors, says computer access log from command Data start on a screen, and it's just on a screen, so therefore Brent de-aged TNG uniform. It's just this. It's even less to do. They never do a close-up, so you don't get all the detail of the face. They also do the proper hair, because that was the biggest problem. And he does the voice, and okay, it's not perfect, but whatever, it's okay. And it's a new log as Data. And then you have got Data of the season, like any retcon, but you actually get to act just like with the flashback in episode 4. De-aged flashbacks give you context. So boom, there you go.
Yeah. Subspace chatter. I think the next episode will blow your minds. It's so good. Yes, we've heard this. We're also going to be super busy after the next one, apparently. So
yeah, we've both cancelled plans. / just not made plans. Same thing.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a. Yeah.
We'll be busy. Trekyards will have lots of things to talk about.
It's going to be a break your brain a little bit sort of one, but that's okay because it's going to be exciting. Maybe. We don't know. Do we know? Maybe. Who knows?
Watch this. I think we have lots to do and we don't have much to do. Be like,
that would be interesting.
Anyway, well, let's move on to the ship discussion.
Yes.
You guys have anything else to say about the changelings? By all means, super chat it in. But I think we're going to shift gears here, and move on to the ship aspect of this conversation, talking about the new USS Intrepid.
But if everyone in the chat right now wants to spam the chat with Trekyards was right, we'd appreciate that, because we said they're not a visual update in effect. It was a different reason for the design, and Trekyards was right. So hashtag Trekyards was right. Let's spam the chat to appreciate that we stuck with our guns, because we did.
Yes, they're evolved changelings. That's why they look different. The effect is different.
Yes.
Well, we see the bounty in this episode. The bounty.
We've already called it, given the green 10 pixels and the flight formation. I mean, I could see it. You could see it. So
it could also be referring to Jack, because he had a bounty hunter after him. He is technically the bounty.
sure. Well, if she's in a bounty hunter, then etc.
Ah,
yes,
Trekyards was right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You weren't told to do that at all. Screenshot this and send it to everyone on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but I can't remember. Oh, hit the like button. That's it. Let's try to get to 180 likes, guys. I think we can do it. And by all means, super chat in. If you do have anything to say about the changelings and want to shift gears back to that for a minute, please feel free to do that at any point. Just let us know. But yeah, let's talk about the ship, Bill Cross's design, and go from there. Because it's my new favorite ship. It looks really cool. I'm a huge fan.
But also, let me show off the new fleet video, and you can talk about it while it plays.
Ooh. Okay. Is it started already? Okay. This is the fleet video, guys. You can be a part of this fleet. As you can see, there's a lot of names there. Those are all Trekyards members. Hit that join button and consider joining the fleet. You will be assigned a ship randomly. If you become a captain, you get your own ship and your captaincy right away. And if you join an admiral rank, you also get a hero ship on top of that. So you can be a hero ship captain. You see the Enterprise E there. You see the Titan A. You see the Protostar. Those are all hero ships or examples of hero ships. So it'll be interesting to mix the fleet up and see what kind of hero ships we have to add. And it's all randomized, so it'll be fun to see. So click the join button and look at your options and become part of the fleet and have your name emblazed on the screen in all of our videos. There you go. Do it. You know you want to.
Wait, what are you telling them to do?
Hit the join button. Look at the options. Pick your own rank. You don't even have to earn your rank. You can just pick whatever rank you want.
I meant to reiterate. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it
now.
But yes, we have lots of ships ready for you all to command. So you say the word with your dollars, and it will be.
Is that a bribe, Samuel?
It's something.
We give them a ship. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I guess it is. If you want to have dreams of flying through the stars, Trekyards.
I can't wait till we have an Intrepid that you can fly. Would like to see that thing. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean there will be Voyager at some point. That's a higher obviously tier, but
all right. So yes, the Intrepid, which we found out, I just found out today from Bill Krause that it's actually an interceptor. So it's a fast intercept ship, which makes sense that it showed up to meet the Titan, considering that they had 2 traders on board. I think traders was a little bit of a stretch, but anyway. Yeah, it's a mean-looking ship, and again, based on one of Bill Krause's designs, which is based on the FASA design, kind of a great progression going back to the old school FASA stuff. So, what did you think of the ship, guys?
It's your time to shine. Although I don't know if I agree with Interceptor, because there's the same nacelles, which implies the same speed. It's bigger than Titan, which means it should be slower, and there's less internal.
It looks faster.
It does. I don't know, maybe. It also has less internal volume because it has less neck and hull. So is that your? I don't know why it would be an Interceptor.
It's not like that. It's not like that bottom pod is full of torpedo launchers.
No.
Instead of a deflector, if it was full of weapons, being an interceptor, it makes sense. It gets there as fast as possible and just delivers what it needs to deliver and gets out.
It's just if the Titan's like a light cruiser, this is an even lighter cruiser.
I'd say the Titan's a heavy cruiser.
No, it's not. Terry already said it's no. It's not remotely armed enough for that. The Stargazers in that ilk. Titan's meant to be light. It's specifically a science exploration light cruiser.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They did say that once, yeah.
Because I do agree. This actually has 6 forward torpedo launchers, or well, two forward, 6, 2 forward, 2 aft. So there's a lot of firepower forwards. But obviously that torpedo launchers are cheap. You just plug one in. They're not as if you'd reinvent the wheel. But it's a very I don't know. Interceptor seems like an odd one to me. I would have done different nacelles if I was Interceptor personally.
Chris and Raj are both pointing out the one talking about the rear deflector dish. Not a deflector dish. Well, if you guys have been paying attention, but it's a long-range sensor array and or communications dish. The Foley class has the same thing, so I don't know. I don't understand the problem.
Well, no, the problem is it looks identical. It should have had different texture if it was meant to be different.
It should have different color.
Yeah, because obviously it's a deflector, except it doesn't. Like, there's just bad choice of using the exact same text. You can see it's the exact same texture map, just applied to both.
Yes, which is their problem, and they should, when they complain about it, they should realize that.
Yeah, I mean, make it yellow or red or green. But I mean, isn't the front also a long-range deflector, long-range sensor dish as well? I mean, all ships have to have a long-range communication network.
Yeah.
It's just got one at the back as well. It just can't do deflector stuff. It's just less functional, but it's more specialized.
Yeah. Tangerine Star 26 puts in 2 pounds. Will there be a full size, etc.?
Only if this ad says there will be. Did that ad tell you there was going to be? You have to tell us because we don't know.
I'm guessing no, probably.
Guessing. Yeah. Oh, it's bigger. It's bigger. A little bit.
What's bigger?
Than the Titan. Scale size.
Oh, yes, slightly, yes.
So
which again, it doesn't feel the size though. It doesn't feel the scale that it's supposed to be.
No, I mean, not to say I want it to be smaller necessarily, but a tad smaller might be good.
I want a reason for that secondary hull being like that on this design. On the Wasp or the Hornet, I understand it because it's more like a weapons pod. This one doesn't seem to have any differentiation between. This is just a secondary hull. So why is it designed so differently? There's got to be a reason. But I still like it. I think the design is very beautiful.
Yes, but also... Oh, my voice was broke. Yes, but why is the Oberth, etc. got their thing? So, I mean, they're trying something. I can't imagine this design would necessarily kick off because it's... As in, like, become super mass producible because it can't land, not even close. It's nice to have a landing ship. A lot of ships can land. It's a useful feature.
Fun fact, it's now canon that in Starfleet Academy the Trekyards into believing propaganda that the deflector dish deflects stuff. Oh, do you want me to get into that story?
Yeah.
The fact that in TOS it was never a fucking deflector dish. It was always a sensor dish. It was always a sensor system. And then motion picture came along and it got referred to as a deflector dish for deflecting particles out of the way at warp. And then as a result, TOS got retconned that was a deflector dish. So it's always been a deflector. It's a combination deflector sensor dish, in my opinion. Always has been. But yeah, it was never originally a deflector dish. So I don't know if that helps you at all. But yeah, propaganda, the retconning continues. Motion picture was the one that caused that, though. So hey, it's all good. Didn't really consider you needed to deflect things out of the way necessarily. That warp.
Well,
the warp field takes care of that for you. But hey, whatever.
I mean, don't things disintegrate as soon as they hit the warp bubble?
Or gets deflected. Pew. Ha.
Well, but the thing is, it does everything, right? It's meant to be.
It does. It does everything it needs to do. If you need a weapon, watch best.
Well, yeah. Because, it's a deflector dish, but that's just a term for it's a Swiss Army knife of features that they need to work.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? It's sort of a slightly redundant statement in a sense. It's like a phaser, it's a weapon, but really it's just a way of shooting beams of energy, which you can use to laser mine.
Heat up your food.
Yeah, they're space lasers. Space laser is a broader thing. Torpedoes let it explode, but yeah. But yeah, no, it's a cool ship. I love what you pointed out when you first looked at it. That bottom view is the X refit, but sexier.
Yeah. I'd say it's sexier. The top view is nothing much to look at. There have been Trekyards has released like the full orthos of it, and the top view is kind of very similar to the Titan. All the other views differentiate it quite a bit, though. So,
well, if we can get a super chat, maybe I'll find and throw in the full orthos.
Oh,
even $5, guys. I'll be a cheap whore.
He is kind of here. He's here.
I'm here for you all.
There are no particles in subspace. Well, there you go.
Until there are, because of story, and they need special particles. There also can't be life forms in middle of transport, but there was.
But there are, yeah.
Yes.
Sean says sensor dish kept getting hit by rocks in space, so they changed it to a deflector.
It's good. Hey.
Accurate.
Yeah, where are the shuttle bays? That is true. Well, hopefully we'll get super chat and we can put the graphic that might or might not have an answer. Sure.
There is an answer to where the shuttle bays are.
Well, that's good.
And even on the Titan orthos that Doug released, it shows you where shuttle bay 1 and 2 is, which I don't buy for a second. They're shuttle bays, but okay then.
Okay, I don't know if I've looked at that specifically. Now, guys, you know my Trek fan films. How many of you, put in the chat right now, would like to see this ship in Trek fan films with me?
Well, Chris Willem just threw in £5. I think that's for the orthos there. So,
but seriously, guys, who would like to see this ship appear? And you, what do you think, Stuart? What would your voice be in this cacophony of our audience to see this class in fan films?
Well, I'm waiting to see the class. So
the one we're looking at, Stuart.
Oh, the
one that's about this episode.
Duderstad class. Yes, I would love to see this in a fan film. Hell yeah, I want to be captain of that ship in a fan film.
That's a bold. That's a bold ask, Stuart. Goodness.
Okay, the motion picture era then. TOS era version of it. We have them now.
Well, you say that without full orthos, it's kind of hard to make a replica. But yes, there we go. There are dogs. Helpful guide.
I'll get them from Bill, and you can make them because I'm sure he's got full orthos of all of them.
Maybe. There it is, guys. There she blows.
All right, let's see. Can you see where it says shuttle bay though?
I'm just sort of taking it in right now because the top view is so classic, and the side is so not remotely classic.
Top view, I'm not impressed with. Bottom view is kind of cool. The rest of the views are awesome. Side view is like spectacular.
Yeah.
You need a third nacelle. Add a third nacelle to that side view. Oh,
that would work.
Front of the other nacelle in the back of the bridge.
Or you put a new pylon on the lower pod. You put a nacelle underneath the ship.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Oh, okay. I was still
the unoriginal though. And...
I thought you were gonna yell at me at that and say that's
no.
Ridiculous.
I don't like that idea. That's why I didn't suggest it. Okay. But I thought of that first to be different, and I'm like, no, with that silhouette, put it on top would be great.
Yeah.
Fleet Paw throws in $10.
Oh my goodness.
Deflector dish is whatever it needs to be to save the day, be it a deflector array, a sensor dish, an atmospheric sucking thing, or a wrench for your favorite mod. Just saying. Yes, it's for moderating chats as well from a distance.
Well, damn. Let's look at this top view then. So we've got... I mean, it's all the normal stuff, obviously. Side conference room. It's an interesting call out. Wait, is that? Or did I combine two things in my brain? I did. I just... Okay. You crazy brain.
I'll have to look at a different version because when it's upscale, it's not great.
Let's look at the bottom view impulse engines. Yeah, at the back. Oh, okay, right at the back. Interesting. Tractor emitter, warp core. Warp core is in the pod right at the front. Okay. The main hangar. Oh, main hangar. Yeah, that's kind of where I thought it was going to be. Bridge module, RCS thrusters. Long range sensor deflector, aft long range sensor.
Main hangar on the bottom there.
don't know if I like the impulse engines are there. Like I get
engineering staging garage doors. Seriously?
What? Where's that?
It's the back view. On the left-hand side above the bridge. Is the
right. What does that mean?
Engineering staging garage doors. Well, that sounds to me like the NX-01, where the engine room you could basically like pull the whole warp assembly out. By adding that. Yeah, garage doors, he calls them.
Definitely can't do that with this. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. Yeah, but why do you want fighters, Joseph? Why do you want fighters?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, against the Shrike, fighters would be entirely just, killed. But as you say, the side view is where this thing actually sings.
Mm-hmm. It's great. Right, it is an app long-range sensor. I know that's what we said, Raj. Why do you not believe us?
Yeah, a whole story about it. The problem with these sorts of things is that we know what everything is, so I didn't learn anything from this, basically. It's just nice to see
except
views.
Except that it has garage doors.
Yeah. Because this is all the obvious stuff you would obviously make for every show, obviously. And they did.
Obviously.
But it's not really... I mean, it's not a... The irony being it's not actually a special ship. The pod is just the secondary hull.
Yeah.
Like, it just happens to have a weird neck. That's it. It's a very, very plain ship. If you break it down, it's not an Birth, it's not Prometheus, it's not anything with a radically different something. It's a really simple ship. Which I think honestly is part of its flair is its simplicity. Because a lot of other ships have more weirdities.
Speaking of its flair and its simplicity, do you want to show the shot of all of the evolution of them from the side?
That definitely has some flair and simplicity.
Yeah, because it goes right back to like TOS era with those ones.
So this is not canon, just for clarity. No. This is something that the guy who designed the original did in his spare time for fun because he's clever.
Yes. And he likes to include something from every era. So, and the Wasp, the Hornet class interceptor in the middle is the one that we've already done a video on from like 3 or 4 years ago. But I loved seeing this because these things from the side just look so impressive, and see them from different eras is just stunning, I think. Just a dipshit from Ohio throws in $10. Thank you. Simplistic is beauty. Yes.
Sometimes it really is. Sometimes, and Yep.
Yep.
Those are words I said. I hope that's okay.
Yeah. No, it's not. But anyway.
Well, damn.
Well, these kind of look a lot like, well, not a lot. They look similar to the Pioneer class that we do see on the LCARs at the end in the end credits. The Pioneer class is the one that was introduced in STL for the temporal.
That's true.
For the temporal, whatever missions. Very cool design as well.
It's odd it's odd that Bill. I know this is Bill's fleet. Would have been nice if that had been the ship. Then it would have been direct lineage. Because now certainly that feels like those two things are canon now. This isn't canon, but that feels like that was an attempt to make it.
Well, yeah. Well, this is pretty close to canon, as it is right now. Who knows what we'll see in the future?
Well,
we'll
sure.
When we get a shot on the Intrepid's briefing room, and you'll see some of the models.
And will it be the same set of the Stargazer
yes,
and the Titan?
100%.
Will it be changed at all? No. Although he missed, you say every era, he missed the TNG era.
Well, I think,
because that's late. That's post Nemesis. I mean, 90 is well past. I mean, he's literally skipped 100 years of Enterprise C and D era.
So I just stopped making this class in there for some reason.
Sure. I guess part of why I did that is that he wanted like TNG is using certain parts, whereas he likes being new with his parts. Like TOS ones don't really like TOS designs. They just have TOS bits, but they're too sleek looking. But that's fine. It's just he doesn't use TOS pieces. The refit, that's a bit closer. But that was one of his original ones. But if he goes TNG, he'd have to use TNG era nacelles, and you might not like that. I don't know. You can be as creative in that era because it's more actually uniformed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he's done anything from the TNG era, actually.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I don't think he has either.
No.
He just doesn't like it as much.
That's fair. That's fine.
It's fine, yeah. But I do like the Sovereign-esque nacelles.
Yeah.
The source doesn't really work that well for me. It looks too much like that black stealth fighter that was made like years ago.
F-117.
Sure. Like that doesn't look like any saucer from the Nemesis era I would recognise per se. Obviously it's not detailed at all, that's why. But it doesn't feel that. It feels odd, like alternate universe-y. Because he hasn't got a producer telling him to keep it canon. You know, he's just having fun versus keeping it consistent, which is important to have a producer, etc.
Gorgon was named after Dorothy Duder, who was Doug Drexler's wife, who just passed away. And Duderstadt, I think, is just I don't know. I'm not sure. Ask David Blass. I think he renamed the class after Dorothy. So, yeah.
Yes.
General Grievous, $2. Move the neck forward or shorten the engineering hull, in my opinion. Neither of those things.
I mean, it would lose its fragility then.
Yes, I would.
I mean, the point is that it's the design that, of the top one, it's balancing on a pinprick of does it work? Or on a dime of like it's on that line of does it work, does it not, does it work, does it not?
Well, the question is, why is it designed this way? Like I said, the Wasp, the Hornet class in the middle there, that's the original one. And it makes sense. That bottom part is a pincer or like a stinger. It's got like torpedo tubes in there. And it's the only one that's not a secondary hull in all of these lineup, which is the one that everything's based off. So I think it felt this was more purpose built, that middle one.
Well, yeah, certainly it's fully thought out in that it had a deliberate intent for the design. Now it's just underslung the secondary hull with a curved neck. That's what the design class is now, which is absolutely fine. But that one wasn't.
Murloss says, could it land? Well, apparently Terry has released or stated online that it can land. It does have it has landing legs on the secondary hull bit.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of like the Voyager in a way. Voyager would be too top heavy, but it's force fields and stuff that keep it up. I would assume the same thing for this.
Oof.
I don't think it makes sense to have this land.
Yeah.
Samuel pointed out that it couldn't land when we talked about it in another video, and I agreed with him.
Yeah.
You say that it might be able to, but if Terry says so, okay.
I mean, if that's the directive, everything lands despite whatever. Wow. Okay. Weird. But I guess that's advanced then. A shape that doesn't work at all can therefore land. Because you would think in Voyager that shuttles are quite heavy, and all the shuttles in the back end, because they're entire ships. Just saying.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say in an emergency you've already launched all your shuttles, and you still have to land this thing on a planet. You don't have the shuttles as a counterweight. You still need technology in the front.
Yeah, but
if your power is down.
Yeah.
Like Rick has talked about this. There's force fields that help it not tip forward when it's landed.
But if you're in that much of an emergency that you've lost shuttles, you might have lost power, in which case you're falling anyway. Doesn't matter. You're just going to... But you live.
Exactly. But they're always on, as Rick would say. Even if they lose power, they're just...
Oh, they're like the holodecks. They'll be on either way. And the gravity. On either way.
Yeah, the gravity will always be.
You know, what if, Stuart, what if they put the phasers and the shields with another dedicated power supply? So that... Because we really used to have a dedicated secondary shield power grid, right? Like the holodecks that, would still be on. Why doesn't every ship system have a dedicated power system then, Stuart? Because holodecks take a lot of power. It's one of the most power-intensive things on a spaceship. We know that. And even like a dedicated shielding, 10 hours of bonus shield power for the shields. That's a hell of a boost. Just saying, if it's that easy to have completely redundant secondary powers that will not fail, because we saw it not fail despite the ship being screwed, put them to the power, put them into environment. Why is there one for environmental control? They ran out of air. Why is there dedicated air power supply? Because there wasn't. They would have used it otherwise. That is more important than holodeck, Stuart. Let's be honest. Yeah. That's a flaw.
And I wonder if it's capable of saucer separation, says Subspace Chatter. My bet would be yes. It's in some way, shape, or form. Space Thing, The Reckoning throws in $5.
Thank you.
Didn't like them at first, but the TMP-like nacelles are growing on me. It's an old design making a comeback with new tech. Like canards in aircraft. Yes. Absolutely.
Not every nacelle has to be the Enterprise E's pointy one.
Yeah.
It's just a different style. I wouldn't call it necessarily, TMP per se. It's far newer.
Yeah, Mr. Serious Guy, I agree. It can land once. Everything can land once. No chance of it getting off the ground again, because it's basically crashed. Yeah. Can the ship go underwater like in 1701? Like 1701? For fuck's sake. Theoretically, sure. Why not? But that was just stupid.
It's also volcano-proof.
Well, flying around suns and stuff, so that's fine. The underwater was just dumb, though. Let's hide our ship from this population of...
Because space is too close.
Yeah, space. They'll see us in space.
Yep.
But rising out of the water won't cause any problems with the primitive society.
Nope. So if J.J. Abrams, Akiva Goldsman, and Robert Orsi, and are all not very smart people.
Alex Kurtzman. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, you've got you've got a very TOS, a sort of TOS, a TMP, post Nemesis, and then present. Why has he got two that are so close together then?
What, the bottom two?
Yeah. Why not do an NX one then? If you're going to do a TOS, or why not do TOS NX? Why do two TOSs? I know he has his own more advanced TOS. I'm guessing that's the logic here. Is there's more faithful, and there's what he would do.
Yeah, probably.
But I wouldn't make sense. But I wouldn't say the bottom looks particularly like TOS. It's just too integrated for me. Like the one from Stowe is better. It's just that's a TOS kitbashy vibe. This is too sleek, personally. Although it's very small. The main one's 580 meters. That's going to be 100 something.
The Black Hawk one does feel like it should be NX era.
Yeah.
Just even looking at those nacelles.
A
little too late in the timeline with that date, though. So, all right. Fleet Paw throws in $2 because Air Supply is an 80s hairband. It's true. It is. Not a Band Account throws in $2. Chances we get more beautiful 3 nacelle United Federation of Planets ships. Probably not that great of a chance, to be fair. Not a Band Account again, $2. In 2401, does Section 31 still have black badges? All you have to do is meet one of them. They would show you for sure. They'd be like, "Hey, check out my badge." Shh, don't tell nobody. So yeah, if you see it.
Well, no, what they do is the gold badge. You click it, and the gold turns into black, so it becomes black and silver. So all their badges are hollow badges. Great.
General Grievous, $2. The TOS one secondary hull looks like a beer can.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's jump back to an actual shot from this show.
Now, the other thing that people are complaining about, and I am too, but
okay,
it's a complaint, yet it's also that's fucking cool, is the fire off the nacelle. Fire going upwards and black rising smoke. It looks fantastically cool and menacing, and it is amazing, but it doesn't make any sense in the vacuum of space. It does have blue plasma coming out the sides, which makes sense, but the fire element, even when the ship's rising up, it's burning up, and it's silly, but it looks amazing at the same time. It's one of those, I get why they did it, because It looks menacing and wow, but it doesn't make any sense in the context of space. So that's a big pet peeve for me. But on such a cool shot, I can't really complain. Like the cool outbalances, outweighs the awfulness of the effect, which is not a bad effect. It looks fantastic. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I was speaking as a special effects guy. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's. So obviously there's fire in space, there's plasma that can be heated. Obviously, that's in every sci-fi ever. That's not the issue. I think it when I look at this, and I've also seen the shot, it's more that you can feel there's gravity at play with the smoke. It's a particle simulation pretending to be fire on Earth with gravity. And it looks exactly the same as a petrol fire. Because the smoke would not be going up and to the left. It would be going out. So you could make this look correct. And also black smoke also is weird. It looks like a petrol fire. If it was just a raw burning basard, which doesn't go anywhere, it's just on fire, it's plasma. Easy. I wouldn't even consider it. It's just they did a real life sim that is not space, and therefore it looks weird because it's not using logic, literally.
And added smoke.
Yeah. It should have all been, burning. But it's part of a sequence where the ship dips for being hit in the front, which means it go backwards. So if something goes down, which it wouldn't do, there's no gravity in space, and then it goes up back into gravity. So the whole sequence is based around non-physics, not even trying to be even close. So the scene is entirely broken, but it's creating one image. So there is gravity in that space.
It's for visual, dramatic effects. Yes.
Like I would have done it a bit differently. Thematically, I could still make it work well, but because once you give in, once they say make it look like a burning fire wreck, you can't do that and achieve it this way and be real. So they already gave up that they're real at stage one. So you kind of just got to say, well, it's not real. They're not trying to be real. Well, when they do something that is wrong, and they're trying to make it right and it's wrong, that's more justifiable. Like when you look at the DS9 battles, they were saying, oh, there's fire in them. It's like, well, sort of. The metal is exploding and go up in a fireball, and it dissipates within like 3 seconds because without the air it all goes. That's different to a literal fire.
Yeah.
With smoke. Explosions.
Stuff never bothers me until it's pointed out. Sorry, Beep Bop, but it's something that we notice.
Because I was able to track down, because Voyager utilized a pack of explosions, right? Literally just a pack of explosions, and I was able to track down someone who had the same pack, so therefore same explosions, and you can literally see, well, that's this one, that's this one. It's really quite funny. It's not their studio assets, just they're the same thing, and for the most part they're really quick because explosions would be quick. They're built to be a certain way. So yeah, it's just yeah.
Not a band account throws in $2 and says, "More Canadian ships now." USS John D. Diefenbaker. Yeah, well, I'm related to Diefenbaker on my mom's side somehow. I can't remember how. Third cousin, whatever, somewhat removed, something like that. So we don't need Canadian starships. It's fine. No, as much as it doesn't make sense, it's a beautiful shot, and I really appreciate it for that. There's a lot of it's a beautiful image. Just seeing that thing coming up. So
it's become a meme already.
Yeah,
and it's funny that it hides the secondary hull, the neck, the front view, but still. Your brain still knows it's different. It's an interesting...
Yeah.
I don't love, and I've never have, I don't think I ever will, I don't love the giant... It just feels such a step backwards, the giant light panel that lights the registry that's also very far from the registry.
Yeah.
It's like, what? If a spotlight could do it, if one light could do it for 400 years, why do you still need a whole beam of light? That feels like a huge step backwards, Voyager, if the E used them, a 350 years into Starfleet thing. Why are we suddenly changing? Imagine changing tech 300 years after, when it worked the same way the entire time, and it's called light. It's one of those things where it clearly doesn't work better. It's just some guy at Starfleet said, "Right, we're changing. I have decided we're done with the era of the spotlight. We're swapping to the light beam. Why do you want that?" Well, my grandfather had a spotlight. My great-grandfather had a spotlight. My great-great-grandfather had a spotlight. I want light beams. So I think if I was doing this, I'd probably make just a normal spotlight, because I think that'd work better, personally.
Yeah. Not a band account. $2.
Oh.
British UFP ships. USS Cromwell or USS Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, Cromwell. Thatcher's too real. Cromwell's the past. No one can relate to Cromwell. Thatcher's... People worked with Thatcher. All of my country dealt with her for a long time, etc. Oh, Cromwell's in the actor. All that.
Because this way she gets eyes that can mean... Oh, those don't look like eyes, though. Those big light bars, those were... I don't know. I agree with Samuel. I don't like the way they look. Especially in the TOS era. Like, on the Strange New Worlds Enterprise and stuff. Just, please don't do that. Doing that.
Yeah, and it's more just that you don't notice it most views, but obviously this view it's pitch black, so it just looks oddly obtuse.
Yeah. Anyway, fantastic design. I'm glad to see more of those work. Hopefully we'll see something like his Essex class, which is the USS Endurance. That's a beautiful design. Hopefully we see that sometime before the
bit fat though. Like
that's fine though. It's a
oh sure. Yeah.
It's like the Galaxy class,
Yeah. So this is definitely this is not more original because it's not his design, but that is his design. But this is more original in terms of concept than that.
See the Endurance, if it was scaled up to the proportions that these have been, would be big, and for that size, I have no problem with the shapes in that ship for a bigger ship. I just know that they won't scale it properly. They won't scale the windows properly. They'll screw that up again. But honestly, it's a design that needs to be in Trek, because I think that's a beautiful design. That Essex class is just amazing.
Yeah, it's good. Some good stuff to it.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, so here's some orthos-ish. Some display orthos. But now we've seen the other orthos, so when we did this review, this was like, oh my god. But I have actual orthos, so it's kind of different. But the question is, will it come back? Will it return? Can they fix the warp drive and the warp engine? That's some serious damage. Quick enough? Because they've only got 2 days, Stuart. Can they repair and get back to Earth in 2 days?
I think so. I think this is going to be what's going to be in the last 2 episodes. We're not quite sure of where the story's going. I can see this and the Shrike like coming in at the same time. Be like a double threat, Starfleet and an enemy ship. And this one just manned almost exclusively by changelings.
Jeez.
I would love to see it come back for sure. So,
yeah, I don't think it'll be fixed in time. Well, I guess you could warp with one nacelle, which I guess you can probably, but then they could chase them straight away. So that's what they're implying. But whatever. But I hope we see more of the class. I mean, it takes it an hour to retexture a ship to new registry, or less. Obviously, if you built it that way. Certainly, there's going to be a giant all fleet thing. Let's see more of it.
That'd be great. You know what else would be great? 7 more likes.
It's true.
We're only 7 likes away from 200. I think we can definitely do that with 182 people here. So if you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button now. And also super chat in any thoughts you have about the ship design, anything about the changeling evolution theory.
Well, do you want to finish the poll and read out the results, Stuart?
I guess I will. 106 or 76 votes. New changelings, are they genetically modified so they can't become simple things anymore? Yep. Limited to just people. It wins at 59%. Nah, can still do other things. It's at 41.
Okay.
A lot of people are. I think the visual reference of them being like liquid meat when they go to liquid form is sealing that for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
USS Metalis in orbit over Metalis 5, carrying the remains of Chieftain Metalis. Yeah, that'll definitely be in this season sometimes. Metalis likes the sound of his own name. So, anyway. Oh, we hit over 200 likes now. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. No new members, though. Click the join button and look at your options. We have different ranks. Pick one. Pick a rank.
And you'll be in this video if you do. Well, look, there's the Titan. Oh my god, it's flying, guys. It's flying, Stuart. The E. The Picard, guys. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Protostar.
Actually, Captain Matt Boardman on that Enterprise E.
Oh, well, yes. The Legacy of, should I say. Or an old TOS Daedalus class. My god, it's so old. And classy. Reliant. Forever Dr. DS9, apparently. It's never quite got enough lemon-scented face wipes. Whatever the reference was. Do you know that joke?
I think of the lemon pledge. Family Guy.
Oh no, lemon scented is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There's a flight that was stuck on a planet for 1,000 years because they were waiting for their last lemon scented hand wipes. They put them in suspended animation, and then the apocalypse happened and everyone died.
Nice.
So they couldn't go anywhere because it was all automated, and then they brought them out every 100 years to walk around and give them tea and biscuits. And they said, just wait, because eventually, Stuart, the next society will be built, and they will invent lemon-scented, whatever it was. But until then, we will rest. It's a good part of the book. It's a good... What was it? It was lemon-scented something. I could just Google it.
Google it. General Grievous, $2. I'd like a thicker saucer in the neck. Yeah, well, I mean, tweak the designs to your liking, but...
I was close. Lemon-soaked napkins. Very close.
Yeah.
Very close. But yes, the poll, guys, is best new Picard ship, the Intrepid, Stargazer, or Titan. Vote now or forever hold your peace.
Or your vote. Or your mouse click.
Ever hold your mouse click. Yes. All right.
Yeah, and the last super chat slots available for anybody. Anybody who wants to say that last super chat thing. Importance. Right now we have General Grievous complaining about something.
Yeah.
In his last super chat. So if you want to be another person that complains about something and have it be the last thing, please super chat in right now. I appreciate it.
But Stuart, my question to you is, do you know what we're talking about tomorrow on our live, or do you not? And if you do know what it is, please tell the wonderful audience.
Hold on. I predict.
Ooh, shit.
That tomorrow.
Okay, I'm ready.
We're going to be talking about... predictions. Predictions on the next episode where this is going. Am I correct, Samuel? I can't recall.
Yes. Good job. Very good job. Well done. Well done, fine sir. Yes. Next week we have been told to watch as if we were not going to. Ha! Ha! And you guys shall watch too. But we have got some images from that episode with some cool little things. There's been a few things pointed out in it. The official return of George LaForge. The official introduction of the new LaForge. Which will make a tri-LaForge episode. And not just that, but we know that Worf and Raffi are also going to join the Titan, which will leave us with a total legacy crew of Worf, Beverly, LaForge, Riker, and Picard. That is a mammoth of the TNG cast. So that should be fun, and how they interact together or not.
And like you said, a lot of LaForges going on, like a trifecta of LaForges. Therefore, we are LaForging ahead. In telling of the story.
Forge 4.
Yes.
LaForge Warp 4. Yes.
Not a bad accounts. Snipes in with $2 and says, will we have Kurtzman Trek eye injury this season? I mean, no. Let's get rid of that
Well,
cliche right now.
I mean, he didn't produce any of it really, so I doubt it. He's had little to do. Little to do.
Yeah. So.
Although I will admit that I'm with episodes 2, 3, and 4, I was happy with the length, but eager to get out of the nebula. Now, the next two especially, I would like them to be even longer. If to savor what we have. I don't know if you could make the next episode too long, but try. While we're there, let's have fun with it. Because the fact is, storytelling comes first. So if what we hope is going to be there has time to be there, it might be limited time. Because if they end up spending most of the episode talking in rooms, that's great, but
as long as those rooms have interesting things to look at in them or out the window, I'm happy.
Or just, I don't know.
Fleetpaw throws in $2. Thoughts on the petition for Shaw 7 show? I hate these petitions. There's petitions about everything these days. Have Terry be in charge of the next Star Trek. Have Shaw and Titan 7 show.
Because we had 7 and Raffi. We had Rio's Titan.
Yep. We've had a lot of that shit over the years. I phase it out now. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's not going to accomplish anything anyway. So.
And also, they aren't built for that. Like, you couldn't have a dynamic for a TV show, really, without entirely changing it in the season. It's built around a simple gag and a thing at the end of the season. Which is fine, that's what it's there for. You don't build all these things with a 7-season arc in mind, because they bet enough money to make one anything, etc.
Well, I think that's it, guys. I think we talked about the changelings and the Intrepid as much as we can right now. But Space Thing, the reckoning throws in $5. Can we just pretend seasons 1 and 2 didn't happen? No more eye injury then. Each head can just be doing some obscure BS at an outpost somewhere. Yes. You can believe that if you like. Do whatever you like to do.
Maybe 7 had too much of that root that Raffi smoked. She got high. And she manslaughtered Icheb in her mind. Which makes, when she talks to Vajazel, even more powerful that she was lying. She didn't really kill him, or didn't. Oh no, that'd be more murdery. Yeah.
Well, the poll at 99 votes, or 1 vote away from 100. But the poll is best new Picard ship. USS Titan wins it. 43%.
Intrepid is worst, Stuart. Despite the apparent love for it, it does not even beat Stargazer. So that is a loud minority, Stuart. Loud minority.
It's fine. It's fine.
Where would you place them, Stuart, if I'm putting you on the spot?
I'd go with Intrepid, then Titan, then Stargazer. Maybe maybe Intrepid, Stargazer, then Titan. I think Stargazer is more unique in whatever than the Titan is. So, yeah. But the Intrepid would win it for me, for sure.
Yeah, it's tricky because there's 2 metrics there. What looks best, what fits into canon best, what is shoehorned most. Stargate...
Best adaptation of Bill Cross's original vision.
Best original vision, yeah. I mean, Stargaze is the most cohesive design, clearly. Everything about it fits and is new. This has lots of anachronisms still, so it doesn't fit quite as well. So in that regard, Stargaze is clearly the best. I've flown a Titan, so I know it's very, very nice to fly. It's very graceful and smooth, and I have great appreciation for having done animation with it. Stargazer is not that. It's bulbous and bulky and not that, which is fine. Intrepid is nice. I think it'll look great in motion. I'd like to do some of it in motion, but it's simpler than I'd like it to be. So what metric do you want to give me my final number on? Canon or personal preference or design, or what do you want to...
Personal preference.
Personal preference. Probably Intrepid by a slim margin over Titan, and then Stargazer last. But it's like a slim margin. Like, I'm seeing Intrepid as I want to finish it.
Yeah.
And make it a high detail mod, like, you know, give it the Trekyards treatment. I think it would be fun to move. And you could just cheat and just skip the secondary hull and just see it move flat and look classic. You know what I mean? You can entirely ignore its uniqueness if you want to.
Devo77X says, you notice they leave out the inquiry class? Yeah, because it's good.
Well,
if they had a finished model in the show, it might be worth including, but it still would be last in everybody's vote, so why bother?
I'll be honest, I forgot it existed.
Me too, until you said that deal.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing.
Tangerine Star 26 puts in 2 pounds. Is
go.
Shaw a response to Rios being cruelly dumped? Possibly. Apparently pounds and feet are not compatible, according to my watch.
Well, the more you know, Stuart, the more you know.
Speaking of knowing more, Janek Productions throws in $5 Australian. Says, hey guys, your favorite cripple is here. I like the Intrepid, but the Titan has my heart. There you go.
Yes, everyone wish Joseph a speedy recovery from his ouch.
He got hit by something, hurt something.
Oh, my friend David's here as well. Lemon Wolf!
David, you have friends? That's...
David, wow. Tell him we're friends. Confirm my story. Please? David, what do you prefer out of the three if you had to vote? Intrepid, Stargazer, or Titan? How would you signify them? Now, I will tell you a brief story, Stuart, as we're closing out, as we wait for David. Nick Cook, as you know from Starship Intrepid, whose ship just got decanonized, because obviously the Intrepid in Nemesis is going to be an Intrepid class, because that would make sense. There's no leap there. But then obviously now this is a new Intrepid ship, non-Intrepid class, and it's significantly after. So Nick has to lose his USS Intrepid class between Nemesis and this ship. Now we don't.
Please tell me he gets to.
Now we know nothing
we don't know
about.
Who the captain is.
I know we know nothing about the ship of any kind. We don't see the inside. Like I said, we don't see the captain. And gut reaction, Stuart, is Rolaren actually the second in command of this ship, normally or not?
No, absolutely not.
Good, thank you. Good.
That makes no sense. She was just put on there to go to this stuff.
It was her taxi.
Yeah.
Or slash, yeah. Thank you. I'm glad.
She got delivered to it by accessory. As is
by the hood.
Yeah. It's the hood.
50 years of service. Yeah. 1/5 the time of the Federation. It's right there. No. So he always said to me he already wanted to do Picard era stuff, and he felt that the Intrepid wouldn't still be frontlining after 30 years. It feels old, given that most ships we see are newer classes. We've seen no old ships except Sovereigns, and they were obviously quite new. So he wanted to change ships. Originally, he was going to go Inquiry because it's the newer version's nicer, the one that the season 2 team finished, and it's different, it's new, it's interesting. But he saw this and emailed me saying, Sam, I think I've changed my mind. I'm like, Nick, it's been one episode. He's like, yep. I'm like, right.
Good man. I like Nick. Good taste.
Now he doesn't. It would be weird if his ship got decommissioned. He got assigned to the new Intrepid, because then it should be the Intrepid A if you were going a legacy factor.
It's not a legacy factor though.
But it isn't. But the chance of him being able to get a new Intrepid seems odd. So he'll do a new name to be a new thing. And I suggested that what if he then has his ship, the USS whatever, be attacked by the new Intrepid? How dark would that be? He's commanded the Intrepid for 25 years, and now the new one's trying to kick his ass.
Nah, I don't like it. He should have the Intrepid. I would like to imagine him as captain of this ship, with changelings on board.
Well, yeah, he didn't like being that dumb, because it means that he's being interfered with.
It's not, though.
Well, he doesn't want to be complicit, etc.
Might come back and save the day.
Sure.
can tell the story what happens after this. If you never see it again in this season,
Why not?
you could be like, he takes out the changelings on board.
I did say that to him. I did say you could do a whole storyline in the row, off camera, obviously, and then you lead up to this battle that we can recreate. But he's interested in having this be his new class, but it'd be a different ship name. Kind of have his cake and eat it too.
It's a cop-out. Tell him to talk to me.
But he was already going to have a new ship class. Like, he was never going to be Intrepid again. He wanted to move on to a new name. It just happens to be hilarious. This is a new...
Well, your friend Dave is apparently... must be a friend of yours because he has the wrong opinions as well. He says he would pick the Titan, so... He has still
Thanks,
not confirmed
man.
He's a friend. He has still not confirmed that he's a friend of yours.
It's true, he didn't. He did not
back me up on this. Comment. Like, I could buy it. I could believe it. Not a banned account throws in $2. Isn't Rose kamikaze strike a very Bajoran tactic? It's a very terrorist tactic. It's a very not terrorist, freedom fighter tactic. Yes, 100%.
Well, yeah,
yes.
It's all I can do is sacrifice myself for the greater good. Is a very freedom fighter tactic. Yes, I hadn't thought about that, but that's very true. Actually, it's very true. Although at that point you think they would then fly into the bridge and kill the ship dead on. But as we said, the crew is not evil. It's just
she doesn't know who's changing.
Yeah,
who isn't.
But if you're freedom fighting, it'd make more sense with one strike. Hit the bridge, the ship was more disabled than the nacelle. At least for a bit, because you'd kill the entire commander crew.
You could do Gorgonzola's idea: have Nick be kidnapped and be held on an asteroid planet while the changeling that's imitating them takes over our ship.
And why the fuck is Martok there again?
He's got to escape.
They're re-changing Martok after 30 years. He lost a second eye. Oh. What a payoff that would be. Sorry, JG. Oh, there we go. There's the eye fetish. Kurtzman. Both eyes. The blind old Martok. Not all Klingons can see, Stuart. You wouldn't be so serious saying that.
Ian Smith shows in $5. Really want to see the Ross class on screen again. Yes. Also, are we going to see a TOS accurate 1701 during Frontier Day or Discovery Strange New Worlds?
I love Strange
You won't
New
see
Worlds.
the Strange New Worlds one, is my guess.
If
you do see a Connie, I bet you any money it's going to be a TOS one.
Don't bet against you. I'd love them to see an actual Connie in Strange Worlds. That would be hella. That'd be having their cake and eating it too. That'd bold. They could do it. They could totally do it and have some commentaries like, oh, one of the classic Connies. Moving on. Wow, that'd be bold.
So Lemon Wolf Dave says, yes, Stuart, Samuel, and I are friends for a long time now. Longer than we've been. Oh, we're not friends. We're just teammates. Partners, work associates.
He's a changeling. He's lying. No, actually,
Dave?
You. No.
Oh.
In fact, I met David at your house on your sofa. Actually, I know.
Is that during the orgy I didn't know about?
Nope. It wasn't. That was a different friend I met. No, I was at your house, which means it was only you could entirely work out the date.
Yeah,
as crazy as that is, yeah.
Well, you've been in my house like twice, haven't you?
3 times?
Just the once.
3 times.
3 times. So yeah,
it was the first time. Yeah.
See, without me, you and him wouldn't be friends, David. So I guess I don't know.
But anyway, so basically, what my story was is that if Nick commits to this ship being what he wants to have, then he will cough up some budget. I will hire my 3D team to build one, and I will then take the initiative to finish the design a bit because obviously it was not, it's not fully there, and I'll probably look at the size and say those blinkies are 95% too big. We'll shrink them, etc. And we'll get to see what a slightly more polished version looks like, because this is not a polished ship, and you can absolutely tell. And that's great. It means we can kind of do some. It's like I did with the Norway from Squadron. I really reheroed it, which is great. I'm excited if he goes for it. That's kind of cool.
And Space Thing, yes, you will see the Enterprise A. We're almost 100% sure of that. But I think you might also see a Connie as well. So,
I mean, you might. I mean, if it's a museum, let's be honest. If it's the museum, they'd have one very famous ship, and the famous ships are Enterprises. So you could make a very reasonable bet you'd see every single Enterprise NX classic A B C D E and F. I mean that not F, but like you should see
well,
them all.
not C. It got blown up pretty good.
So did the A.
Hologram.
No, so the
original.
The D got blown up.
Well, just the secondary. Oh.
Yeah, but still, if they can make a replica of over half the ship.
We know the saucer's in the museum at least because it says so on the plaque in season 2 of the.
But I mean, if they're fine to make a replica for over half the ship, they can make a replica C. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. So, I mean, that's a bit of an expectation to have. You know, let's be honest, to have every Enterprise at the museum is quite a bold thing to want. But it would make sense. Right? Just saying. So, yeah. There we go. We'll see you tomorrow, guys, for a full Thinking Man's prediction of episode 6.
So I'm not going to be here? Okay.
Yeah. That's funny. That's good.
Tune in tomorrow.
Neither will I, Stuart. It'll be ridiculous. It'll be a blank live. It'll be only you guys, the smartest there on the internet. So well done for joining us and making us in this chat far smarter than otherwise would have been. Bam! Good.
And on that note, he is Commander Cockins.
He is Captain Foley. My God.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.